Hmm. Questions. Questions are more important than answers. Think about coffee. Cigarettes. Are they really that bad for your health?
Yes, they really are bad for your health. At least cigarettes are. Coffee, on the other hand, is an interesting question. Google the health effects of coffee, and you will find a wide range of opinions, both positive and negative, regarding the health effects of coffee.
Questions. Questions are more important than answers.
He's right. The question is the most important thing. But what kind of question you ask is what really matters.
Even with a subject as simple as coffee, there are so many possible questions we could ask. The first thing is to consider from which field of study are we asking our question. So, if we're an economist, we might look at the economics of the coffee trade. If we're a psychologist, we might look at how coffee affects people psychologically. Or we could look at the health effects of coffee, as previously discussed. Or we could ask a different kind of question, like how coffee is made, or what role coffee has in culture. For example, how does one make and drink Turkish coffee? However, just because it's good to ask questions doesn't mean that every question is a good one.
So, asking whether or not cigarettes are dangerous is something that is already known and can easily be researched. Likewise, asking how to make Turkish coffee is fairly irrelevant, as I just showed you how to make Turkish coffee. So the question needs to be deep. For example, what are the health effects of Turkish coffee? But then, health effects for who? For me? For you? For children? For old people? People with high blood pressure? You have many variables that affect your question. So, you have to really focus your questions. And then, you can drink your coffee.
Where does one drink their coffee? Well, if your field is history, you might look at the Ottoman coffee house. Why Ottoman coffee houses? Because they were a fascinating place filled with social and political intrigue. However, even if I've decided to look at Ottoman coffee houses, there are still many variables I need to consider. So, for example, in what time period of Ottoman history? And what kind of coffee houses, as there were many types. Therefore, after considering the variables, I want to look at Janissary coffee houses in the 18th century. Moreover, I want to look at how the social space in Janissary coffee houses led to events like the Patrona Halil revolt. In conclusion, let's change from coffee to tea. You need to think about all the variables of your question. Will you have 1, 2, or 3 sugars with your tea?